Hello, welcome back for our next episode of Champions of the Fate. I'm very excited to play again, especially after all the stuff that happened last week. Before we jump in, though, I'm going to say a few words about our sponsors, and then I'll pass it on over to Andy to do intros and take it away. So, our sponsors are Fundamental RPG. It's a simple D20 system. It's not tied to a genre, so you can use it to play any style of game that you'd like, from high fantasy to sci-fi and everything in between. That looks like this. So you can pick up your physical copies on Amazon, or if you prefer PDFs, or if you just want to try the free quick play version, you can pick those up at coffee.com/Raven, like it's spelled at the bottom of the screen. And then our other sponsor is Die Hard Dice. You can check them out at dieharddice.com. If you use the code FUNRPG, all one word and all caps, for the rest of this month, you can get 15% off of your order. And then I highly recommend checking out their magnetic pop-up dice tower. You can see it right behind me here. And it's really cool. It fits right inside their magnetic dice trays, which are also pretty handy. And yeah, it rolls really well. And you can break it down to where it's flat, so you can take it with you, when you're going from table to table. So it's really neat. And that's it for me there. So Andy, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for being here. We're going to go around and introduce ourselves. We're going to say a little bit about who we are and what characters we're going to be playing tonight. And then we'll go ahead and do a little recap and jump back in. So let's start off on our top corner. Zan, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you're going to be playing for us tonight.
I'm Zan. I am your local therapeutic game master and a professional GM as well. And you can find me on at Insanity TTRPG on most places. I've got some other stuff coming out, but I'll hold that till the end of the show. As for who I am playing tonight, I'm playing someone with awful luck, as you can clearly see by that little bit of Roll20 that's visible on the screen. I'm playing Baskin, who is a Ascendant Dragonborn monk, who is a little disappointed that he didn't get to take part in the bloodshed last session.
Well, maybe we'll find some bloodshed this session. Who knows? Moving over, unfortunately, again tonight, our Amir Ash, played by @XTheTransient on Twitter, is not going to be able to join us this evening. But on the top, let's go over to Emily. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who you're going to be playing for us tonight.
I'm Emily. I'm at Timberdoodles on Twitter. I'm a digital artist. I play a lot. I play Reverie, a swashbuckler tiefling rogue. You might also have some complaints, as he took a little bit of a beating during that fight, and was a little taken aback by Little Mess making a little mess, but was super hype at that hellish rebuke. Big thumbs up to the hellish rebuke. Would prefer again, no bloodshed until we get that whole beat up thing taken care of. Interested to see what happens, though, especially with that totally cool no problems thing we left back at that farm with Santa Fe.
I have no idea what you're talking about any of that.
It's all cool. It's all good.
Next, let's go over to Par. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are playing for us tonight. That's the rest of that sentence.
I'm Par. I enjoy TTRPGs. I like to appear on streams for them, and here I am once again. Tonight I'm playing Dram Loomis, a half-elf darkling who is, working through some things, but happy to be here ultimately. Traumatized last session by Jinx and 6, so I'm very interested to see what will happen to him this.
And up in our top corner, let's go over to Anna. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who you're playing for us tonight.
Yeah, I'm Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny most places on the internet, queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer and podcaster. I'm also the associate producer for Response Team Omnicron, a Lancer actual play podcast. And I play Rulioella, the Coldwater Selkie sorcerer, both subclass and race from the Children and Champions of the Fae supplement, which most of us are using, I think. Yeah, she likes to make friends and is very friendly and very charismatic and creates a lot of chaos for the DM during combat.
Only good chaos though. So
She's just
We
trying
love
to
it.
be an adventurer. So she's enjoying this quest very much.
excellent. And Raven, tell us a little bit more about yourself and who you're playing for us tonight.
Hello, yeah, I'm Raven. I am a professional storyteller and game designer. Excuse me, and game master. I do all sorts of tabletop stuff. You can find out more about all the different things that I do at theravenevermore.com. That's RAVYN, evermore.com. And then I play Jinx, who is a 6-inch tall sprite. She is also a little chaos being, and is a little scary. She's a bit of a cross between, like, if you took Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony and like Nora from Ruby, and you like put their personalities together, and that's kind of what you end up with. Yeah, she frightened some people last session, and now is just looking to instigate maybe some less bloody chaos in town, doing some shopping.
Well, we could certainly try. And I am Andy Martinez. I am a teacher and an educator. I am your DM for the evening, TTRPG content creator. I play in a lot of different things, some that we'll talk about a little bit later. And I am everything and everyone else in this world. This world, by the way, is based off of the Children's and Champions of the Fae, the guide that we were talking about a little bit earlier. The locations and everything in there, besides the Black backstories or the subclasses and the lineages, are everything else that we just made up. So with that, let's go ahead and do a little recap and see where we're at right now. All of you currently are at a farm that was a Knowles camp for a little bit. Before that was owned by a Cyclops named Morris that you met a little while ago. You are currently in the realm of Nymphindor after being talked to what feels like ages ago at this point by King Oberyn to try to figure out what's happening to these realms of the Feywild that were once separated and are now touching. They're now forced together, which has also caused some problems in planar travel, and that is driving him a little bit insane and has prevented most of the court from coming back to the Feywild at the moment. So he's really he's at a loss at the moment. After traveling around a couple of the different realms, looking at some of the islands that have been floating off in the sky, you found your way into Nymphindor and met up with a little troop of centaurs who has been following you for a little bit. After going from a couple of different farms that Morris talked to you a little bit about, how they used to have 4 of them and now are down to 1 because they've all been taken over by various things over the past however long that they've needed to take care of everybody here in Nymphindor. After taking care of the hill giants in one, the Gelded Glory in another, and running into Xenophia and giving her the run of the place for a little bit at least, leaving a massive storm behind you, brewing in the distance, you ended up going to the other farm on the west, fighting the gnolls that were there and clearing them out of the area. You are currently at the farm right now. There's a handful of kind of mismatched shacks made of different types of branches and sticks. Looks like they are not very sturdy, but they are still standing up after most of this fight. There's one building right in the middle that is more stoneworked than anything else. It looks like it's been here significantly longer than everything. But looking around, the other farms had animals at them, at least. This farm just looks like it is grassland. It looks like it is the vegetation farm, the crop farm, more than anything else. And it has all of these different fields circling around you. You are currently at the base of this pretty wide valley. You just came from the other side of the valley, worked your way down after communicating with the local fauna to help you in your removal of the gnolls. They popped out of the ground and overran the area. Slowly but surely, they made a mess themselves also. And that's where you find yourselves right now. You are currently still in the center of this farm. Little Mess has calmed down and is currently over on the side, talking to the other centaurs that are off always a bit, leaving you all ready to discuss whatever your next move currently is. It is about a little bit past midday right now. You were traveling for a bit in the morning. You got here and almost immediately jumped into a fight. So whatever your next plan is, what would you like to do?
Those first structures you mentioned, were those the Gnoll structures?
Yeah, looking at them, they are kind of just shoved together. Looks like they maybe had ripped open some trees and brought in some logs and just kind of made these very, very rudimentary, but doable structures. Now, you did see that a few of them were kind of grabbing bags and trying to leave as fast as they could with the stuff, and some of them managed to escape with some stuff, but some of them did not. So you can see that as you've knocked out some of these gnolls, a few of them did have bags that they were carrying out, and there's a few more that are still kind of in some of those little buildings as well.
Okay, so Jinx is gonna look into those. If there's anything of value to be had, she'll probably point it out to someone else to pull out of there, and then once they are devoid of valuables, she's gonna set all of them on fire one by one.
Okay.
And just kind of sit there looking at it like, fire.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll an investigation check for me.
All right. 15.
All right. Yeah, so these bags are, as you go over to the closest one to you and just open it, it looks like there are about 4 of them that you can see, 2 of which were currently being taken away that they didn't make it, 2 of which are still at least in the one shack that you had just seen. Now, these were the ones that the dire cheetahs had just come back with. So you watch them deposit these, and then as they were trying to leave, they went back and they grabbed these bags. And looking at just this first bag, there are so many things in here. There are some bracers that you see just right up at the top. There are these little glass jars. Some of them are shattered at the bottom. Some of them look like they have herbs and spices and different plants in them. There is at the bottom of this, looks like a couple of hammers. You go to the other one, there's utensils. There's stuff that looks like was probably from a kitchen. There's a large pitcher that looks like it's been battered around a little bit with some paintings of some trees on it. There's another bag that's full of hand axes. And you also find down at the bottom, there's a little stone sliver. It looks like it has some carvings on it. In one of the other bags, there are these really, really big wings that are just, looks like they were just lopped off of whatever had used to have these wings. You also find down at the bottom a little chest but you find a little chest. It's currently closed and locked. And yeah, looking through all this stuff, there's a lot of rudimentary tools here, but those things that really pop out to you as being like, hey, then maybe that's useful. Depending if you need any armor, there is some leather bracers, there's some leather armor here, if that's something that anybody is looking for. There's the little thin rod of stone that has carvings all around it. That looked pretty interesting. The chest, the wings, if that's what you're into, but the plants. You find a lot of different little things, though. Trinkets. Oh, you find some little figurines that look like they were carved. There's a lot of random stuff in these bags. But as you take all them out, those are the stuff that you have, and all the rest of them are pretty much empty. It looks like maybe there was some food stored in some of them, beds in some others, but they don't really keep a lot of possessions necessarily. So there's the stuff in the bags, but that's pretty much it.
All right, cool.
I think while all of this is happening, Bask is going to walk around and try to find a nice open space, and is going to say, "Oh, Okay, I really hope there's no one like hanging around on the outskirts planning a ambush, a retaliation strike, anything like that. That would be really unpleasant, and I would not like it. And I think he'll stand and wait for a second. And if he doesn't hear anything, he's gonna go, shit. I was really hoping I would not have to do this, but I guess now's as good of a time as any. And he's gonna like try like winking really hard, not really sure what's going on, and we'll just fuck, and pull out his eye, and we'll send it scurrying into the air to see if anything is hanging around on the outskirts.
Yeah, and the first time it's kind of weird because you know they should come out, and it takes you a little bit. And as soon as it is in your hand, you see these bat wings unfurl from around it, and it takes off. Okay, as it takes off to the sky, go ahead and roll me a perception check with advantage.
Ooh, with advantage.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got here. Hey, that's a 4. Oh no, that's a 19. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna be like, what did you roll?
Worst advantage. 19.
A one. Okay. 19. Yeah. So your eye flies up, and you only have one of them out right now. So your perspective is wild. You're seeing from one eye everything that's here, and then this other eye is just leaving. It's just going somewhere else. And as it goes up to the top, it flies up pretty high and just does a complete circle around, scanning the whole area. What you see from up there is you are in this big valley. It looks like off to the northwest of where you are, the valley kind of tapers out, and it becomes a more of a narrow valley with pretty steep sides on the edge. And that travels as you keep flying up with your eye. You can see you're actually not too far away from the ocean right now. And you can't see it from down below in the valley, but as you go up, it's pretty much just on the other side of that ridge. All looking around, you see over on the kind of northeast direction, there is way off in the distance. There's not a lot happening because it's a lot of just empty fields right now. You do see off in the northwest, there is a solitary birch tree, or a wispy tree with a lot of wind that's currently happening around there. You also see it down in the south. There are this really massive herd of rumps that are just kind of grazing around. And those are the three things that really catch your eye.
Okay. And then I think as the wing flies down and does whatever the icky shit it has to do to get back into Basque's skull, go, okay, everyone, gather around. I have done the thing with the eye. It was really fucking weird, but I learned 4 things.
That's a good number of things.
Was one of them that the eye thing is really weird?
No, that seems perfectly normal. I mean, what would be weird? It's just an eye crawling out of my skull and then flying around, and I'm looking straight, but I'm also looking all like, as it flies up, and then it crawls back in my face, and it's fine. It's completely fucking normal. No, that one goes without saying. That's not really a fact. That's just a reality. So over that way, there is the ocean. There's not really a lot over there. There's a tree, like a singular tree over there, and some other like creature things over there. And the most important thing that I learned while I was looking around is that I am apparently handsome as fuck. No, we don't really get a lot of mirrors in a heap, and we haven't really stopped at a lot of places where, vanity was really a thing. But let me tell you, even after I just slayed, a lot of gnolls, I'm still pretty fucking good looking. A dapper little lizard.
That would be a pretty useful skill if you could see yourself.
Yeah.
That would be weird. You would be able to see yourself and your own eyeball looking at you at the same time. That would seem
Yes,
very
there is
disorienting.
an infinity. It is an infinity of eye contact. It's very intense. I would only do such a thing if I was feeling particularly foolish, which is not today.
Just normal levels of foolish then?
Yes.
Cool. Well, that's useful information.
Yeah, we've chased the gnolls away. We've saved all of the farms. Do we need to go back and talk to the farmer, or do we just move on?
I mean, we should probably let them know that, you know, their farms are good to go now. I mean, otherwise somebody else might just be walking along and go, oh hey, free farm.
It does make it very difficult for us to claim a reward too if they do not know that we are the ones who did it.
That's true, and we did do it very quickly and efficiently. So they may not be expecting that we already have it done, so they may not even look for their farms yet.
That seems very likely.
So I guess we
Yep.
should go back then.
Sounds like a plan.
Reverie is practically that meme where the person starts to raise their finger and then kind of stops and lowers it again. Is the farm where the dragon was really free right now? Do we know, like, is she still there, or?
Well, I don't know, but she promised she would move on as soon as she was done, so I think it's safe enough.
Well, was there a promise of the condition the farm would be left in, or
I
you know,
think
anything
we
like
just-
that?
I think we only said that we'd take care of the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she did say that she would leave the farm if she did not find what she was looking for and would not like destroy it in the process. So I mean, there's a lot of things that they probably are, but I'm not really sure that lying is part of the thing that they would do. And as Bask is covering his eyes and closing his whatever little ear slots that he has, he's probably speaking a little bit too loud, but he doesn't want anything to get picked up.
Really does have the ring where she can talk to Xenophia.
Which Reverie does not trust at all.
It's
But
always listening. It's like Siri.
But he
Could
does
always
kinda-
ask her. I do have this ring.
Oh, maybe find out if she's
Yeah.
discovered what she was looking for.
Yeah, so I will mess with the ring and see if I can figure out how to use it.
Yeah, it's cold to your touch. And it doesn't light up or activate or anything, but it's there.
Always on. Oh, I hope not. That'd be really annoying for Xenophia. We see our ramblings. Yeah, she's gonna kind of hold it up in front of her. Like, Xenophia, hi. It's really the Selkie you met recently and gave the ring to. Yeah, I'm sure you remember. We took care of the dragon for you. Are you still at the farm? We were wondering if we could tell the farmer if they're able to go back to their farm. We saw a really big storm happening, and we're hoping nothing there is damaged. But you said that you'd leave the farm as it was. So, is it okay to go back to?
As you just talk into it and wait for a second, you hear back just in your head, Xenophia, as she says, I'm still there right now, but, well, yeah, this farm is safe to come back to. I'm going to probably need to also be here for a little bit, but if someone needs to come, they may.
Okay, we'll let them know. Did you find what you're looking for? I hope you found what you're looking for.
The voice comes back. I found many things. Some I was not expecting. Others I was. And you just hear her kind of trail off. It seems like she's thinking about something for a minute.
Well, as we head off, Ruli's going to talk into it for the next probably hour, talking about the walking flowers and the battle with the gnolls and all of that. And some random things she sees that her attention is distracted by as we're walking.
And yeah, as you do for the next hour that you're walking, Xanaphia responds to a few of those things the same kind of way that, like, you know, someone would respond to just a child talking in the back of the car. Yeah, hey, that's definitely a thing that exists. Absolutely. You did a great job finding something. Good. Some of them she doesn't respond to. It does feel like she's distracted at the same time that maybe she's looking at stuff and moving around, but she keeps responding every once in a while. Sometimes it goes about 20 minutes, but the whole hour she's right there. And as you are heading off, well, which direction are you going? Back to the Morris's farm? Okay. So that is in the northeast direction. So you're heading up over out of the valley and towards the direction of the tree that was off in the distance. And it takes you about towards the end of the hour to get over to where that tree is. And you are kind of in, well, still just a grass field. You can see off in the distance that there is the main road, actually, that you were at not that long ago. But far off in the distance, you can tell that actually this farm to the west is not that far away from this farm to the north. But you are passing this tree on the way. And as you walk past it, everyone go ahead and roll me a perception check as you do.
Nat 1, of course.
26.
All right.
I think
A 7. I'm distracted by talking to my friend.
I was gonna say
Bask.
I think Jinx is like, oh wait, I gotta go say bye to the flowers. And do whatever you want with the Nat 1.
Talking to every single plant on the way, and most of them aren't doing anything.
I think she's just like trying to give them high fives. Like, high five, high five, high five.
Slap a couple of grasses on the way. They don't
Slap-
respond.
Slap a dandelion and the fluff just goes everywhere.
They don't respond, and Jinx just goes, they get it.
And as you are getting closer to this tree, Jinx, it starts to get a little bit more difficult to like fly in a straight line. It gets really windy right here. And for some of you, you even have to like look away from maybe the top of the tree. Revelry and Dran, you are very aware that this wind is happening, and knowing that Ninfandor does have some interesting weather patterns, you also look up and look at the tree, and it's tough. It's hard to actually keep your eyes open long enough to look up at this tree, but you can see a couple of figures up there. You can see that there is, it looks like a woman that is sitting in one of the branches of the tree, not facing your direction, kind of just dangling her feet. And you can also see that there are a few other, you count maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 kind of bigger. It's hard to track them, but they are, you can feel that there's other things flowing in the sky up there around the tree. But it's difficult to really even perceive them. They are not standing still, they are in constant motion. But there's a reason for this wind, and you're pretty sure it has something to do with over there. As you don't need to go up the hill if you don't want to, but it's really windy all around this zone. But you can see still another probably another hour or so walk will get you back to the main road and on your way to Morris.
Reverie kind of pauses and looks to Bask and so I guess well, fair enough given the distance, but your magic eyes didn't spot anybody in the tree, did they?
What? No, they're just like little fucking eyeballs that can come out of my head and fry and see shit really far away. They don't fucking see everything.
Fair enough. And I don't suppose.
I'm sorry. Do they need to learn how to recite the capitals of the various Feylands? Do they need to learn how to play the harmonica or something for you to be impressed? Is a fucking eye crawling out of my skull and flying away not fucking cool enough for you?
Cool isn't quite the word I would use, but that would be pretty impressive. Useful, I would say. I don't suppose they do too well in this wind either, but there is someone in the tree and something flying around the tree.
Well,
And I
that's
think it
that.
might be the source of this wind.
Oh, I'm sorry. I could not find the source of the wind because I was busy having the worst dry eye I've ever had in my life. But that is probably from the wind. Yes, that seems reasonable. Are we going to go and stop it, or are we going to go the other direction?
And Reverie just kind of looks at the others because magic is not his forte.
Have you pointed it out at this point, or?
Oh yeah, he was kind of looking to Bask, but he said it loud enough for at least the part about there being a person in the tree and things around the tree, and that could be the source of the wind.
I mean, do we need to stop it? It's just wind. They don't seem to be harming anything. We could try and meet them if we wanted.
Before we get any closer or do any action on that, could Jinx roll an Arcana to see if she can tell if this is causing the wind?
Yeah, go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me.
17.
All right. So, looking up now that you are aware that there are things flying around up there, you, with that information, can kind of start to piece together that without really knowing exactly what these things are, they seem like that is, and as you are really, really adept at maneuvering around the airflow, you can see that, or feel rather, that this is really emanating from those things. And now that you've been pointed out that they exist up here, you can feel even like there are a few different spots that are currently moving around that are feeling like they are both, they're both pulling and pushing air to and away from them, kind of like a little cyclone, as they are currently spiraling.
Jinx will kind of relay that information, be like, yep, that's definitely magically causing the wind and crazy weather, I'm guessing. So maybe they know the what's her name? Who,
You mean Xanathia?
yeah, that's the one. So who's gonna go talk to them? And then Jinx immediately puts her finger on the tip of her nose.
I mean, I can talk to them, but what are we talking to them for? What do we want to know?
Why they're making everything windy?
Okay, I can ask them that. Maybe we'll make some new friends. Really starts marching off in that direction.
All right. And as you start heading up the hill, it does get blustery, but there's nothing on the hill necessarily, and you can make your way up, and everything's flapping around as you make your way up to the base of the tree. And as you get a little bit closer, you see that the woman in the tree does turn to look at you, and she currently has in her hand, there's a little saucer, and a little teacup that you can see. And she just kind of smiles at you and leaps out of the tree, and then you just hear a low humming as you can't see them, but you can feel that there are wings attached to this person as they take off and come over to you. And as they do, you could feel that the things in the air start to also take note that you all are here. And they kind of slow down a little bit as she waves them down a little bit without really saying anything. As the wind does start to die down a little bit. Hey, I didn't expect to see anybody else out here.
Hi.
Hey.
We noticed the wind and noticed you were here, and we were just wanted to say hi. We're wondering why there was so much wind.
Well, apologies if that was too much. We're kind of stuck, honestly. Well, I'm not. I'm from here, but these guys, and she points up, and now that they've slowed down a little bit more, you can see that the wind is still spiraling, but there are 3 little tornadoes that are just kind of moving around in the air. As they all are still moving and causing some wind, but they are much more calm currently. As she keeps, I was trying to get them back home, but it hasn't really been working.
Where are they from?
They're from the plane of air. I summoned their. Okay, let me back up a little bit. So I am a wizard. Can I say that? Yeah. So I'm a wizard, and I've been practicing magic, and I have been. Well, I summoned some air elementals, and that was really cool. And we've been hanging out for a little bit. They're pretty fun. We can't really communicate through words, really, but we figured it out. We try to put them. I try to put them back, and I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or not. But I haven't been able to send them back yet, and they have been here for a little bit too long. And they're getting restless, honestly. I promised them they wouldn't be here for like that long, but I think they know that I don't. Well, we've been trying. So we've just been hanging out, having a little party. We were drinking some tea. But hey, these are my friends. And she gestures up at the 3 air elementals that are above you.
Well, it's nice to meet you all. And it's really sad you can't get home, but we actually just met a dragon who had the same problem, and we helped send him home. And I actually could help you with this.
Oh,
Now, well, I can send 2 of them back right now, and I can send another one back tomorrow if we stay the night here.
oh, yeah. I mean, are you a wizard also?
No, I'm not a wizard. I'm just a Selkie. I have magic from just being me.
That's so cool. I had to practice a lot, but that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, hey, which one of you wants to give this a shot? Maybe. Right, they can't. You, come here. And one of them floats on down. And as they do, it's really, really windy around you. But they're calming it down a little bit. They can hold it together when they need to. As you have this tornado that is larger than you are, not the biggest thing probably that you've seen, but it's standing about 6 or so feet tall, just spiraling air.
Okay. So I can do this to 2 of them at once today. If you want me to send 2. Or should I just send one so that they don't get lonely?
Well, I mean, I think it's better if we can do this to send 2 at once, so then I can hang out with the one that's here, and then they'll have each other back there.
Okay.
All right, you come here. She gestures at the other one, and you have two of them right next to you.
Okay. Ruli raises her uninjured arm, and ice and mist begins to swirl around the two of them, and I'm going to spend a lot of sorcery points to twin cast banishment to send these two back to the plane of air.
As the mist comes out of your hands and starts to mix with the spiraling of the tornadoes and the air elementals themselves, you see them start to vanish. And then something weird happens where you cast the spell, definitely, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't take hold. It feels like something is stopping them from leaving here.
That's weird. That's the strongest magic I know. That should work.
Wait, it didn't work for you? Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I can only do that magic like once a day before I'm exhausted. I can't do it again today, and I don't know what would stop it.
Well, I mean, I appreciate the help. We really tried. Well, I guess we'll keep trying. Wow. I don't think it's anything I did. But if that's the strongest thing you have, then maybe we're just going to be hanging out for a little while, huh, guys? And they all just keep spinning.
I'm going to turn back to look at everyone else to see if anyone else has any ideas. Because would Ruli know from her time traveling on other planes that creatures who die on other planes don't actually die, they just go back to their actual plane? Or is that not something she would know?
Well, you have been a familiar, and that may not have happened to you specifically, but also go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me.
Not good at Arcana. Oh, I rolled a 19.
Okay. Yeah, so usually that is the case for many things. Whether or not it works here from the Feywild to somewhere else, you haven't really tested that very much, but you know it works the other way around, at least, for sure. As you've definitely seen familiars bamf out and then get brought back just the next day.
Yeah, my worry is something's keeping them here, and I'm worried that if we killed them, they would actually die. That's my big worry currently. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we do know someone that can send things back to their own plane, but that might not be the best idea.
I mean, that's magic I can do now, and it didn't work. Something's keeping them here like an anchor.
I mean, I would like to raise one counterpoint, and that is even if I think we can just act under the assumption that if we kill them, they will go back to their home plane, because either way, they will not be here anymore. And there's really no way for us to know if the plan was successful or a failure, so we can just assume it worked.
That seems like a big risk. I mean, we don't want to kill them. They haven't done anything to us.
Well, don't worry, we won't kill them, they'll just go back. Are you going to go?
That?
Well, are you going to go and check? Because I'm not going to go and check. I could go and check, and I could maybe be a little bit stressed out. I could be worried about going over there to check. Or I could just say, hey, you know what? Every other time, they would have just gone back. So this is probably going to be okay.
Seems like a big risk.
I mean, yes, but is it a risk that we are going to take? No.
What does everyone else think?
I mean, I guess it's kind of up to them, but that does seem like a big risk, yeah.
Yeah. I don't love that idea, but I haven't tried it, so it's kind of hard to ask them what they are thinking. It's also kind of hard to hurt these guys. I'll be honest about that. Also, they are made of air. So if you have something that deals with that pretty good, great. And if not, well, magic. Hey, that would probably work. But what do you? All right. Well, and they're still spiraling around.
I think Bask will look over at Ruli and go, I suppose that someone has already tried talking with them, yeah?
You know, they can't speak with them, and I mean, I can't either. I don't think these are.
I'm sure they speak Aquan. It is very close.
I mean, I don't speak Aquan, but I what is it? Bonded by air. I don't think they're an air-breathing mammal with a swim speed.
Are you sure?
I'm not. I don't know anything about air elementals.
Exactly. You cannot be sure that they are not air-breathing water mammals, and we are not sure that they will die when we kill them. We are not sure of a lot of things, but we still live a very confident and happy life. Just tell yourself that you are sure, and it's fine.
Can you understand me?
You should turn to the one that's right next to you. As you look at it, it kind of does another little, but as far as like, did it respond to your question, or does it know that you are looking at it? Is not an answer that you really have.
I am able to communicate at will, so I would be able to understand them if I were effective. So
You don't hear anything back from it.
yeah, I don't think they can understand me.
Well, I guess the real question is them staying here so detrimental that it would be worth the risk of permanently dying?
Oh, no, I guess not. They're just kind of bored, honestly. I can't take them many places because they make a big mess. But, I mean, I can keep trying. We'll keep hanging out and throwing parties, drinking tea, and we'll keep trying, I guess.
Actually, I definitely have a plan for you. I am still personally on board Team Violence, but if you would like for maybe a little bit of a different option, there's like a fucking island over there in the sky, and they could probably like help you get out there. And once you're there, it's like nothing but really fucking angry giraffes and maybe a dead dragon, maybe a dead little nudibranch. I'm not really sure what the status is at this moment. No, the dragon was sent back, so he's probably still alive. Yeah, it will be fine out there. They will not really be able to disturb anything, and maybe it will piss him off, and that will bring me a lot of joy. So then everyone wins. They get the place to go. You get to know that your people are happy, and I get to know that I have upset Garvin. I'm sorry, Garvin. It is a great win-win.
Oh, that kind of sounds fun. We did see that, didn't we? Yeah, maybe we'll check that out. That sounds kind of nice.
It's the island from Savanthi, so it's the prettiest one too.
Oh, I was admiring Sylvanti a little bit. I can kind of see it from, but I haven't been there. So if I can, you guys want to go on a trip? And you see them start spiraling even more.
It is rather breathtaking, though Reverie sounds just that faintest bit sad when he says it. He does pick up a little bit. Just to occupy their time, if you haven't thought about it already, maybe a few kites or something. Just a little thing,
That could be really fun too. All right, cool.
And the second Basque isn't looking, Reverie kind of glances at him like he suggested kicking a dog.
Well, I guess we'll go exploring. If we can't send you all home, might as well have some fun here while we can, and not disrupt people at the same time. But we'll get you back to where you're supposed to be. You just got to keep working on it. Okay. All right. Yeah. And you can see that she's just kind of talking to herself. They are just spinning around. Well, I appreciate you trying a lot.
I'm sorry I couldn't help. I really thought that would work.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's something else happening.
There has to be something keeping them here. Something that's bound them or...
Well, I brought them here, so... And I didn't do anything to them. But I keep trying, I guess. I mean, the spell honestly should have worn out, but it hasn't, so...
Maybe you're just a stronger wizard than you thought.
That'd be something. But yeah, maybe. But we'll. What was your name?
Oh, I'm Ruli.
Oh, hey, I'm Mist. But so we'll keep trying, and if you hear from me, which I might, we might send you. If you hear from me, we've been successful or not, I guess. But I'll keep you posted if you're curious. I don't want to overstep.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And if you see us again, even from a distance, come and say hi.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, definitely. We'll do that. Well, hopefully just me. Hopefully we'll get. Anyway, and if you see me or us, do the same. Yeah, you guys are
Absolutely.
so fun. Wow, there's a lot of you. He looks down the hill and sees the centaurs that did not come up the hill. Oh,
Yeah, we do have fun. We get into trouble sometimes. We have a lot of fun. We deal with dragons and gnolls and giants and...
Wait, that sounds like... Did you... Wait. As she starts to put pieces together. Did you... Wait. The dragon that's... And the... No way.
Yeah, we sent him home. We chased the giants off. They were very scared of us. And we did the same thing to the gnolls. Did any? Yeah, some escaped. We did the same thing to the gnolls.
Wow.
I
They were all
vaporized
very
one.
scared of us.
Whoa. Oh, cool.
It was
Yeah,
very scary.
Wow.
it was fun.
That sounds kind of fun. It's so cool that you are all in like a little doing an adventure together. That's
You
that's
could
why
come with us if you wanted.
That sounds really cool, I'll be honest, but I don't think I can bring them everywhere that you're going.
Mhm.
But if you're open to it, I might keep that offer open. And maybe when we go home.
Absolutely.
That-
Yeah, we
that
can
could be
never have
really
too many
fun.
friends.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, I'll definitely keep you posted about however we end up. Hopefully, sooner rather than later, I guess. But we'll keep trying. It was
I look forward to it.
yeah. It's really nice to meet you.
Yeah, same to you.
Okay. Well, we should probably catch it before it. And you could look off in the distance, and the island that you were talking about, you could see is still in view, but not particularly close. It has traveled most of the realm of Nymphador, and you can see it still off in the distance, but it looks like it's over in, well, out of sight a little bit. But you can still see the little speck.
If you fly, you should be able to get there.
I think that's, yeah, you all ready? Let's go on an adventure. And she starts to fly up, and they all follow her. Okay, I'll reach out to you soon. Thanks again.
Yeah, it really
Bye.
does like the big wave. Good luck.
As the four of them fly off.
See, we didn't have to do any violence. We don't have to kill everything we meet.
Well, I wasn't really going to kill it. I was just going to send it back to its home plane.
We don't know that.
And we don't know that I would have killed it either. But we do know they're having a lovely time now. That is the resolution. Right?
It would be kind of funny if it killed you instead.
I mean, that I can't, right? That would have been kind of fucking funny. Like, I think I would be a little bit more upset, like, in the moment. But looking at it now, probably pretty fucking funny.
Ooh, if Boskin dies, I call dibs on the eyeballs.
Mhm.
Yeah, fucking sure. I don't care. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool. If y'all don't loot me, then the wolves are going to eat me, and either way, doesn't really change my situation.
Yeah, see?
You have a very pragmatic outlook on life.
Yeah, it's yeah. It is. I'm okay. So hear me out. This is Baskin's big theory on life, and it is that if you are immortal, then you are not actually alive, because part of the requisite for alive is the end book point of dead. So in order to accept the fact that I'm going to fucking die, and that it's going to be fucking cool, and that someone is going to like eat me, or like my equipment is going to go and be used on something else, or like even if I had to grow into like a really mean looking bush, like that's still fucking cool. It's still like going, it's still going to happen. So for me to pretend that it's not, it's like not letting me fully live, So yeah, of course.
I like that. That's a good way to look at life. We should get going though. If we're gonna still make it both to the farm and then back to, our next destination.
All right.
Which
As
I
you
can't
all,
remember the name of.
that would be the Western Star. Is
The
the
Western Star.
So you all keep traveling off to Morris's farm, which you can kind of see from the top of this hill. And the wind is completely gone now. It still is about an hour or so, maybe a little bit longer of a walk. And it's getting a little bit later in the day. The sun is not as bright as it was. It is still up in the sky, but it looks a little bit right now that it is kind of sunset-y colors in the sky. It's not the bright, vibrant blue that it has been for a lot of your stay here. As you approach Morris's farm, and it's exactly as you left it, hanging out right at the front, you can see one of the Galeduras just kind of chilling. And as you all approach, he looks like he was keeping watch a little bit as he slowly just waves in your general direction.
Hello.
As you approach and get a little bit closer, the doors open, and from behind comes Morris and the other Galeldura. Again, Boji and Gobi are their names. As you are all back at Morris's farm, they look over at you and well, welcome back. I wasn't expecting to see you all so soon again. How you doing?
We're doing really well. We finished the job. Yeah, we chased everything off. We chased the giants off. We chased the gnolls off. We sent the dragon home. And all of your farms are free. I mean, there's somebody at one of your farms where the dragon was. She's looking for something, and she's going to be there for a little while, but it shouldn't bother you. You can still go back.
Wow, that was a lot. Wow, I guess the first thing to say is thank you. The second thing would be, do you want to come in and have a drink, or what do you want to?
That sounds fucking great.
The answer to that is always yes.
Well, come on in and let's talk some shop. And you follow Morris in and head over to the main living area that you had been in earlier as they pour more of their apple cider mead for you, and everybody gets some different size cups for different people because Morris is always prepared. As they sit down and the two Galeb Durs kind of roll over and just kind of prop up. They also have their cups and are just two-handing it, well, kind of big pitcher. As Morris looks over at all of you after giving everybody what they need. Okay, so you're telling me right now that you cleared out all 3 of my farms? You've been gone for like not even like that long.
Yeah.
Are you joshing me right now?
No,
Is this
no.
a bit?
The giants ran away. They were very scared.
Okay.
The gnolls also ran away. They were very scared of us.
Okay.
And the dragon, we convinced that we reminded him that he didn't want to be here, and we sent him back to his home, where he actually has the ocean.
You did what? You convinced that big son of a bitch of what? Oh my goodness. And he
seems to be
just
very
gone?
homesick. Yeah,
I don't believe it.
I don't
but-
think he can come back.
I've been dealing with that thorn in my side for far too long, and he's just gone like that. You didn't even have to like fight him or nothing. You just
No. Mhm.
man, oh man.
No, thank goodness.
I
I mean, we had a very good plan if we were going to fight him.
I
We
mean,
had sticky traps, and we were going to teleport referee onto his back and put a collar around him, and it was going to be very, very exciting, very epic. But he just wanted to go home.
Yet Reverie gives a small, very strange smile at the description of this plan.
well,
would have
I'll
been
be.
fun, but yeah.
Y'all are some crazy folks, I'll tell you that. But I am also in your debt, incredibly so. Wow. Okay, so wait. You said that someone's at my farm right now?
Yes.
Which one and who?
It was the one that the dragon was at. It was Xanathia.
You had dealings with Santa Fe,
Yes.
and she's in my farm right now?
Yes. But she said she wouldn't bother you.
Well, okay. I will be honest with you. This is a little bit of a damper on the situation, but I do appreciate the removal of that big ass dragon. Wow. Okay, so I have to deal with her now too. Okay.
You could
okay.
just wait till she leaves. I mean, you have your other 2 farms to get back up and running, and then you could just wait till she leaves and then go back to that one then.
You are absolutely right. I am getting ahead of myself. I need to first stock up on some supplies and go fix whatever madness they were doing in my farms, and then maybe start looking at hiring some new employees and expanding a little bit. 'Cause now I have the real estate, but I just have us 3 still on hands on deck. So, all right. All right. I'll let her do whatever it is she's going to do over there for a little bit until I am ready to venture on into the whatever she's got going on over there. She has been looking at that farm for a little bit of time, though, even since before that the brass dragon was there. She tried to get it from me. So I don't know exactly what's up with that, but something about she used to know who lived there before. I don't know, honestly, because he came in pretty soon after that. So, well, I'll deal with her if I have to. But besides that, wow. Thank you. Thank y'all so much. Let me, I'll be right back. And Morris stands up and heads up the spiral staircase, heading towards where is the sunstone up at the top. And is gone for a couple of minutes as you hear a little bit of clanging and clattering up on the top as they come back down the stairs and say, "Okay, well, I don't have much, but I do have these things right here. You could take any or all of them if they're gonna do you any good. First off, I mean, we have some of these fancy rocks that do explode. We've got some of those up there. I got some of these. I don't know what to call this one. It's kind of like a broken. It's just a handle." And she plops down this handle of like the hilt of a sword that has a big sun right in the center of it. And it looks very old, but it's still sitting right there. And I also was able to scrounge up. It's not like that much, but if you wanted money, we do have a little bit of that. And she plops down a bag of gold as well. I don't know what you're into, or I mean, if you want food for the road, I could give you that also. But anything else, I am at your, beck and call. Honestly,
if we take the gold, that's not going to make things difficult for you, right?
Nah, gold comes and goes. We got Boji and Gobi over here. We're going to be good to go. In worst case scenario, we'll just work it here a little bit more and, make some stuff and sell some stuff. We have the apple orchard back apparently, so we'll be back in business as far as those go. And you can see that she's really excited about that one. So I'm not really too worried right now. Is what you're saying is true. Those orchards will be back up in no time. And I think you have done plenty enough to deserve that if you so choose it.
I mean, that probably would be helpful. I don't think we really got an expense account from Oberon, so that would be useful.
Well, true, but did he give you anything, or no? He just said go do it. Oh, classic. Well,
this hilt.
Oh yeah, what about it?
Where did you find something like this?
Well, I found that actually right here when I took over this establishment in the first place. It is kind of where, this whole area used to be kind of like a sun temple. And as far as I could tell, there was the sunstone that was left here, which I would give to you, but it is quite heavy. There was also a couple of other things here, including this hilt that honestly doesn't have a blade anymore. Or I don't know if it ever really did, but I one for that's too small for me anyway. So, they pick it up and it's like fair. Oh, it's so small. Holding it by like 2 or 3 fingers. I couldn't even, look, jabs it, nothing happens.
Do you mind if I just take a look at?
Oh yeah.
Just the hilt, huh?
Just the hilt.
I'm gonna just taking a look at it. Did it have a blade at one point? Is it broken off, or is it just purely just a hilt?
It is purely just a hilt. You don't see any broken metal You don't see any place that might have been a blade or like snapped off or anything like that.
Okay. Sure. I guess we'll take it along.
Okay, well, I mean, I have no use for that at all. As far as I'm concerned, that's a piece of trash. But if you want to take any of these other things also, I mean, maybe you can find a good use for that, but take that for sure. I do not need it.
All right.
But I hope you can find some use. But yeah, thank y'all so much again. I mean, well, now what's your plan? Where you going after this? Helping little old me out now. What's next? How do you go up from here?
From here, we're heading to the West Star. We hear there's a lot of shops there, and there's some stuff that we may need to get, especially now that we have some gold. And there's like we still have a really long journey ahead of us. So there's a lot of goods that we need, and equipment and armor. Like if we're going to be fighting more dragons or more dangerous things, and we should be equipped for it.
Oh, well, if you have other things that are going to be more dangerous than that bastard over there, then I mean, to be fair, you didn't have to fight him. So good luck. If you're looking for a big brawl, have at it. And that's going to be a good place for you to start. They got a lot of stuff over there. Oh man, I haven't been to the Western Star in ages. I should probably make my way over there eventually too.
You can come with us if you want.
Are y'all heading there like right now or?
Yeah, pretty
well,
much.
Well, yeah, why not? Let's go. I got nothing doing right here. Maybe I can even find some help, some workers that are looking for a job over there. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, the more the merrier.
As you top off your drinks and wrap up your conversations, and have now added Morris to your party as well for a little bit at least, you are heading over to the West Star. And that's where we're going to take a break right now, and we'll be back heading that direction in a little bit.
Perfect. We will be right back. we go. And we are back.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So, where we just left off, we are currently at Morris's farm after telling them that their farms are theirs again. After clearing out all three of them, you got a couple of items. You got a little bit of gold, and you got the gratitude of one Cyclops named Morris and two of the Galeb Duras. As you all decide to head out, it is nearing the late afternoon, and you have still had a fight this morning, and it's because you're a little bit exhausted. But as you travel out, the lot of you with the centaurs and yourselves, Morris has now joined your group as the almost 9 or 10 of you take the rest of the way to the Western Star. And this path is pretty clear. This is actually on one of the main roads of Nymphindor. You are no longer trekking through tall knee to hip to entire body length grass. You are moving. And it seems like at this point, even the centaurs are like, let's go. Like, you guys are a little slow for us even. So they are, on their way towards the Western Star. They're really excited to get there. As you can see, even Little Mess is starting to like get pumped up again. And as you keep traveling within the next 2 or so hours, you aren't that far away. It's a little bit of a walk, but you see what must be the Western Star down the edge of the hill. And as you crest over the last hill of most of the grassland in Nymphador, down by the Western Star, you see the ocean. You see water as it just spans, but it doesn't stretch out forever. As you can see on the far opposite side of the northwest area, you can see that there's a taller peninsula. A couple of, not a quick distance, but a little whiles out there. And we'll just go ahead and make a perception check as you just look around the area.
Got a 10.
9. Paying for that. Paying for that
13,
25
highest thing I've
earlier.
rolled tonight.
Wow.
Also a 13.
All right. So, nice, 22. And Dram, you notice this, you put the pieces together more than everybody else does at the exact moment as you realize that that's where you started your journey. Over on the far other side, up on top of that cliff, is Maya Hand. And you can see that there is all of the capital is right there. And looking out over the bright sea, the ocean ahead of you, you also see what must be 2 peninsulas off in the distance as you keep looking to the left, as you see this, from where you are, kind of purplish pink forest that's separating them. As you put the pieces together, from where you are standing right now, you can see, as you look behind you as well, you see that there's a patch of green, dark, kind of poisonous, toxic looking green in the back. And over on your side, you see that there are the mountains that you know so well. From where you're standing right now, you can see every single realm of the Feywild. It's
Well,
bright,
that's cool.
bright sun, but you can kind of point them out.
Yeah. Dram sees all the realms and then looks at home very longingly and then points them out. Capital. Umbervale. This one, that one. Over there too.
As he does that, really, you do see off in the distance the twin islands that are now peninsulas of Sylvanthi. And wherever you see the ocean that you did once call your home for a long time. As looking out in the distance, you see a Hebe off in the background, Bask, as you start thinking about what's been going on over there. And you can see off in the little bit, you might have to fly up a little bit more. You can still see Elassidir off in the distance as well.
So close to home.
As you keep heading down the hill, heading to the Western Star, someone is actually coming out of the town, of this little settlement. As you approach the settlement, you can see that there's a lot of tents. It looks like most of the places around here are temporary, and they can be torn down. They can be moved around, very much like the other kind of buildings that you've seen around here in Ninfendor. There are a few more permanent settlements or buildings that look like they are made of stone or wrapped around in a tree. You can see that in the middle, it kind of is two semicircles that are flanking one big oak tree. And as you look off at the distance, all of you can see this very clearly looking up in the sky of this crystal clear Ninfendor sky, as you see just one bright star almost directly above the oak tree. And coming up the hill towards you is a cart. There's one person who's walking by. It looks like they kind of have a hood over their head and have like a wrapped up face as they are walking at kind of a brisk pace up the hill. Looks like they have a stall cart, but everything looks to be closed up right now as they're heading in your direction, but not at you specifically. And keep heading down. As you pass them, you can see that not a lot of their features, in fact, none of their features can be seen. They look completely bundled up, and they are just walking straight past you. They are not giving you a second glance. Their cart is boarded up, and you can hear things rattling around on the inside.
Hey, that seems weird. What were we gonna do, really?
Oh, I was just gonna wave and say hello, like I always do. If there's something else you want to do, though, go for it.
If Bask definitely wants to make an insight check.
All right, go ahead and roll an insight check for me.
No.
Yeah, hey, you've seen sketchier things.
As Bask is staring this person down, really just, hello.
As you do, they look up and give like a double take and hello. And, sorry, closed, and then they just keep walking.
Okay, well, I'm sure there's lots of stores in town.
As they keep heading over the hill, and a lot of you keep heading down into what you can assume to be the Western Star. As the centaurs don't wait for you, they're gone. They start kind of running, mostly chasing after Little Mess, who has just started sprinting down the hill as everyone else kind of runs off to catch up. As Morris is still kind of walking around where you all are. Well, have y'all ever been here before, or want a little tour?
No, I've never been here before. I've spent most of my time in the Feywild in Sylvanthi.
Well, I've never been there, so maybe we can return the favor eventually. But come on down. Let's show you around. As you all follow Morris in, again, there are these two semicircles of tents and structures as they go around pointing things out to you. As they, well, right here, looking over there, I know how much we all love to partake. There's a couple of places that you can get a drink here. Some of these have lodging. So if you need a place to stay, maybe I'd recommend the Watering Hole. That's ran by Beto, and he's out there all the time. He's a fun guy, and he might be a little rough around the edges. Let me just warn you about that. He might be a little bit intimidating, but yeah, he's a softy at heart. He will fight you if you do ask, but he won't really until you do. There's, let's see, over here we have the White-Eyed Willow, and she points in behind a big tree attached to one of these more stone-built buildings. You can see that there's a line of people that are coming out. And the people that you're seeing around, this place is kind of crowded, significantly more crowded than any place that you've been in Ninfendor by far. There are centaurs walking around. There are a couple of sprites flying around. There are some satyrs wandering. You actually see like one or two chorets walking around as well, and a couple of with just a vast assortment. There's some small cat folks that are wandering. There's a lot of people and a lot of things, a lot of movement that's happening here. As Morris keeps talking. Well, if you want to go see Kalita, she's over there, and she makes the best armor that you could possibly ask for. So if that's something that you're in the market for, she also makes some weapons. And if you ask nice, she might be able to enchant them. She might have some things in stock, but don't tell her I said that. Let's see, over there, if you are looking to get a little something, little body art, we have the tattoo artist over there. That is Kyle, and with like 3 E's, I think. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Over there, we have the market, where there's a lot of markets around. There's baked goods. There are little snack shops around. But what I really recommend going to go see, you got to go see Mad. His name is Amadeus, but he goes by Mad. You could just call him that. He's fine with it. He runs the mini market over there. There's just so many different things that he is selling all of the time. His inventory is always changing, and you might be lucky to find some cool stuff. Yeah, but was there anything else? Let's see. Did I hit all the? Well, if you want, I mean, honestly, most of the stuff you're going to find the best deals at probably with Mad. But let's see. There's a couple of people here I don't recognize. I wonder what they're all about. Anyway, what are you feeling? What do you want to do?
I am very interested in possibly getting a tattoo, but before that, it seemed like Matt had, you say, has really good deals. You said a mini mart. Is that like food or magic items?
I mean, honestly, if you're trying to get food, I don't actually recommend going to go see Matt. He'll have food for you, but it's not going to be the best.
That's good to know.
If you're looking for snacks, well, the Watering Hole has some food. Again, the White-Eyed Willow has this kind of bonkers drink that we're not, that's not for me, but maybe for you. As far as food stalls go, if you're hungry, there's some fried fish over that way. I know that you might be particularly interested in that. There are a lot of different stalls and carts that are frying up some of my vegetables, it looks like, maybe. I hope so. But I don't recommend going to Matt. He'll have food for you, but you won't want it.
So he specializes more in like items.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff. He's got a lot of like
Okay.
trinkets, and sometimes he's got magic items. Sometimes he's got potions and scrolls and rings, and sometimes he's got like, I don't know. Very rarely does he have nothing. But if you're looking for anything, I recommend stopping by there and ask him. I mean, his place is a mess. Let me tell you that. But by damn, if you don't know where everything is in that place. So, what? That's not on me.
Maybe we should start there. I say, looking at the rest of the group.
Yeah,
Agreed.
maybe they can tell me what this thing is. And she pulls out the wand, the stone rod thing that she got.
Oh, yeah. If you're looking for someone to identify anything that you got, Mad can probably do that too. He's a bit of a whiz with the items and things like that. So, plus that looks like it might be right up his alley, actually. So, that's a good idea.
Excuse me.
Let's go say hi. And she leads you all over to this really big tent. It has a smaller opening, but it looks like it might actually be a few tents that have been like meshed together to make one big tent. And as you enter the flap, it is a disaster in here. It is an absolute chaos mess. There's stuff everywhere. There are shelves, but there's stuff on the floor. Nothing's in any organized fashion. There is a little rack that looks like it is for rings, and there are rings on there, but there's also like sticks sticking out. It looks like a snake is actually like moving its way through the rings right now. There's a lot of stuff. Some of it just looks like mundane items. There's brooms everywhere. There's brushes, there's paint supplies, there's adventuring gear, really anything you can want. You might be able to find here. And as you enter, Morris yells out, Mad, I got some visitors for you. And
Brulee's eyes have like big anime sparkles as she's looking at just this mess of things.
and out of one of the rows of stuff, if you can call them that, one of the aisles shifts and kind of topples over a couple of stuff as this, well, 3.5-4 foot tall Corrid walks out with this really dense, long hair that drags down to the ground. This really dense eyebrow and this pretty jagged nose with really dense facial hair. As he comes out of this catastrophe of a zone saying, Morris, is that you? Welcome. Hey, you said you brought visitors. Oh, I see. Welcome to the market. This is Mad's market. As you can see, it's quite, well, Mad. What can I help you with?
Jinx is just absolutely in heaven in this place and has been frantically looking in different piles and things. And then when Mad comes out, she flies over excitedly. He's like, this place is cool. Do you know what this is? She holds out the stone sliver.
Oh, this place is cool indeed. Oh, well. Well, I don't even need to. I mean, maybe it does. And you see him lick it. Yeah. Where'd you find this?
I found it. I got it off of some gnolls. They just had it with a bunch of random stuff in a bag.
Huh. Well, thank you. Do you have, wait, did you just get this out of the bag or did you have all the other stuff?
One of us has the other stuff.
Oh, wow. Morris, you're bringing in the best kind of folks. And Morris says, well, you had to help me out. What do you mean? Well, one of my guys just did get, this is my stuff. One of my guys got robbed the other day by the pack of gnolls on his way back. And I'll be. You found it. I didn't even have to ask him for help. Shit. Well, what you found here, that's a Corrid wand. That's what that is. Now, you cast magic?
And Jinx pulls out like her sniper staff all proudly, like, oh, you could say that.
I like this one already. Well, since you found this for me, let me just, would you mind if do you want this? I guess is, here's what I'm thinking if you're into it, because honestly, I mark this stuff off as, gone forever. So I could take these two things, shove them together, and you can have this, that and this, and the best of both worlds, if that's what you're into, as a payment. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great. You think you could work these into it too? And she pulls out the, what was it? The like, random collection of lenses that she got from I don't know why I can never remember her name. Xanathia? Xanathia.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I think I can make this happen for sure. You gotta give me a little bit of time, but check back in with me tomorrow. I'm gonna work on this tonight.
All right.
All right, well. Okay, wow. And you brought, well, you guys are the best. What else can I do for you?
Can you take a look at this hilt, this sun hilt, I guess. It's by the sun stone.
All right. And he grabs it from you and puts it. And he licks this one also. All right. Yeah. Found by the sunstone. You found yourself a sun sword. You just gotta make it work for you, if you want it. By the way, attune to it, and then you get to use it. Now, I don't know how you just got this. I'm assuming actually no. I figured it out. He looks up at Morris. Well, yeah, you just gotta make it yours. Make it know that you're there for it, if that's what you want to do, and you go blast out a big old blade, and it's a pretty good blade, honestly. I just think it gives you a little bit of extra oomph. If you don't want it, I will take it off your hands, though, for a fair price.
How do I let the sword know that I'm there for it?
Oh, you just hang out, hold on to it, tell it sweet nothings. You probably don't need to do that, but I do, and it does help. So now it's a sword. It's, I don't think it's, are you sentient? Nah, it didn't say nothing. So yeah, just sit with it.
If you're sentient, you have to tell me.
If you're sentient, yeah, exactly. I'm glad, right? If someone asks me, are you sentient?
It's the
I would
law.
have to say, yeah,
Look, if this is cursed, it's entrapment.
And by the way, I do ask everything that comes in here. None of these things are mimics, by the way. I check.
Dram is so helplessly confused. But he'll take the hilt back and whisper to it.
At the mention of nothing being mimics, Reverie just says good and looks vaguely haunted.
How long do I talk to it?
Oh, just hang out for 30 minutes probably. It doesn't take that long.
Dram will awkwardly shift to the background and whisper to this hilt as the rest of this is going on.
Reverie leans in a little closer and whispers, I think maybe a song would help, and gives him a wink and then leans back. Just with the most honest, the most absolutely honest and sincere tone.
Well, are you looking for anything else? I mean, you want, wait, here, you want this? And he picks out one of the rings. It's like bright green. It has a couple of scales that look like they're etched onto it. If you want, I don't know what you're going to be off doing, but if you find anything that has like poison, this will help you. But if not that, I got what else? I could just go through some stuff that I think might be cool, but if
I do have maybe something that I was curious about. So this one time, I was having a drink with someone, and we got into a little bit of an argument, and I beat his face in a little bit, an acceptable amount, but we still, it happens, and then we kept drinking and talking, and I noticed after one of the drinks, suddenly his face wasn't so fucked up. And then he hit me, and my face was pretty fucked up. And so I just wanted to see was that some kind of magical effect or something like that, or was that dude just fucking weird?
boy, okay, so did he drink it and then he healed? Are you looking for a healing?
Yeah.
Oh,
No. It was definitely beer. I poured it. I poured it from the tap. Bartender was actually pretty mad about that. I would not recommend it.
Well, let me see.
I mean, it's not it's good. I can go check around at other places, or there's other things. I am in the mood to do some markets. Hello, not only am I here on behalf of my wonderful friends over here in Oberon, but I am also an official merchant envoy of the merchants of a heap.
You got a lot of fingers in a lot of pockets, don't you?
Yes.
Always playing winning side when you can.
Yes, that is how we all should play every game. No one likes to lose.
I agree. It's smart. I like it. Changing one liquid to another liquid is a different form of magic. We can. I don't think I have anything like that right now, but as far as healing potions, I got those. So I can't turn beer into a healing potion, which would be fucking rad. But I do have healing potions if that's what you were looking for. You could pour them into a beer. It might mess up both of them real good, but who knows?
Nah, that's okay. Like if I wanted to drink something that would make me feel good but tasted like ass, I would drink like orange juice.
I don't know what that is, but sounds like bad. Do you have some?
No, what? No.
Okay, well, I don't know.
I mean, the one good news, if you leave it like alone for a little while, then it kind of gets really good. But in that, like, I've got the headache kind of way. But it's not worth it, really.
All right. Well, if I encounter any orange juice, I will avoid it. Maybe a little sip, but
Hey, man, you're a Führer.
no. Oh, maybe not then. Well, what about the rest of you all? Anything else? I got so many things.
While Baskin was rambling, I was poking around. I've seen in my travels people using things referred to as shards. Do I see any shards around here? Just laying around in piles. Shards of planes. I would love to find either a Shadowfell, Outer Essence, Far Realm, or Astral, whatever is available. If any of those are available, those are all rare, so.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check as you kind of
not going to
glance
go
around.
Oh, why did I build a character that can't perceive or investigate anything? Even 10. Perfectly average.
As you look around, there's nothing really that fits that exact description. As far as anything that you have explicitly been able to see. But there's a lot of stuff in this room. So you can't, nothing that pops out to you as being specifically that, just with a cursory glance.
I guess I can ask him then if he's asking if any of us are looking for anything. So I've seen other sorcerers. So I'm a sorcerer. I just born with magic. It's something I can do. I've seen other sorcerers use like shards of places to cast. Do you have anything like that?
Oh yeah. I actually think I might. Give me just a minute. And you see him go to the back and just kind of dive headfirst into this pile of stuff and just vanish for a little. You can hear him. He's rummaging around somewhere.
Guy knows how to run a shop.
Yeah, things are clattering everywhere. As he pops up from a different aisle somewhere else. Okay. Yeah, actually, check this out. And he walks over to you, and you see in his hand a little thin. It's about 5 or so inches long, but it's very like a very thin, kind of multicolored. Could be glass even, but multicolored crystal. And he says, okay, well, I think if I was told correct, I've never tested this thing, but this might be an astral shard connected to the astral sea. And if you look real hard in it, you might be able to see your future or like a monster, whatever. I don't know. I've never gotten it to work, but I think maybe. And he hands it over if you want to look at it.
I do take a look at it. Does it feel magical? Does it?
As soon as you touch this thing, it does feel very magical. And you don't really even need to roll for that. You can just feel that there is essence coming off of this thing as soon as it touches your hand. But it's not as potent as you remember. you've encountered actually something like this before in your past, but this one is not as, you can feel that there's energy emanating from it, but it isn't pulling necessarily into a different realm.
Do I feel like this one would have the effect of an astral shard? Essentially, when I use meta magic, I can teleport for free. That's what the astral one does.
Yeah. So as far as the effect that it does have in the plane itself, that it exists currently, that is still around.
Okay.
But as far as its connection to the astral plane itself, as it stands currently, that doesn't seem as there.
Okay. That's fine. Yes, this is very much what I was looking for. So we're here on Oberon's behalf. We're doing a big job for him, very important. We're trying to fix everything that's gone wrong. I'm sure you've seen the islands, all the worlds smashed together. A lot of people have been displaced. There's been a lot of pain and suffering from it. So we're trying to fix that. So he sent us on this mission. He's funding it. So, you know, are you able to bill Oberon for the equipment we need?
Of anything that you are looking for, I can just send him. Well, you owe me this.
Yeah, he'll pay top dollar, so feel free to charge him a little extra.
Wow. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Awesome. $23.
Well, that sounds like it's going to do me a lot of favors, actually. Wow. Morris, you definitely brought a good group in here. Wow. Good job. Yes, we can, absolutely. And with that in mind, my shop is at your disposal. Let me know what you need. Let me know what you're taking, and then we will figure this out with your employer, as it is.
Absolutely. Oberon's gonna really regret getting us.
All right. Yeah. So right now, as it stands, essentially, what do you want? If you want anything in particular, he has a lot of stuff. I mean, armor and weapons specifically are somewhere else. There's a few things here, but if there's any particular things, this is the place to find them. As far as things that you just see around, there are just several scrolls that you just see in boxes. Again, there's a lot of potions that are sitting around. There's a couple of rods of various design that are hanging out. Again, the rings, there's some cloaks in the back. There's just anything and everything you might need. So if you can think of anything, and you don't need to do this all right this second. Again, he has kind of opened a line of credit for you for anything that you might need. He's going to bill over it at this point. So even if you come back a little bit later, yeah, that'll be fine. Just let me know. I'm at your service. For my king, of course.
Yeah, Reverie has been eyeing kind of the rings, jewelry, cloaks, things like that, because he is, of course, on occasion, maybe been hired to move things like that, acquire things like that. He kind of looks to this Corrid, whose name I have already forgotten because I am terrible with names. Mad. That's right.
Yeah, Mad.
Looks to Mad. Well, and he's still looking a little beat up from the fight with the Gnobles. If I would rather like, if you happen to have something, usually I'm rather good at not getting chewed on, but if when we wind up rushing into, ambushes with enemies everywhere and all around, it's a little less favorable for me. So something that maybe would help, I don't know, make things a little more robust, a little harder to get gnawed on might help.
I think I have a couple of things that might actually help you out with that. Let me show you a few. And he goes over and he picks out a couple of rings, and he goes over and he grabs one of the rods off of the wall, and he brings a few of these items to you. And he's okay. Well, this one right here. He picks up one of the rings. This is a ring of evasion, and it will be able to help you avoid some maybe projectiles or things at your discretion. It'll make you a little quick when you gotta be. But if you want something that's more of like an all the time kind of deal, we do have a ring of protection as well. This one will just like make you feel secure. It gives you a little bit of added, protection as it is. We also have this right here, and he holds up the rod that kind of has this pommel at the end of it that has these kind of sharp edges that are sticking out. This right here is a rod of alertness, so it won't help you all of the time, but I mean, while you're, holding on to it, you're good at seeing, which is going to help you be prepared. While you're holding on to it, you can do a couple of magic spells, but the cool thing is when you really need it, you could stab it into the ground, and everybody within a little radius gets a little bit of extra bonus. So it's not an all the time kind of thing, but it's a hit or miss kind of thing. See, I mean, got a couple of options over here.
He's kind of thinking about it because he's thinking that rod would be useful, but it seems like between Ruli and Jinx, there seems to be some fairly decent team protection going on, whereas his ass is getting chewed on a lot. And he points to the ring of protection. So that, I think, might be the ticket. And yeah, the billing's going to Oberon, but feel free to, add the little tip for yourself as well, if you'd be willing to part with it, of course.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. By all means. And he hands you the ring. Oh, wait, actually, you just did not take this but just to put this on your radar, and he goes into the bag that you did just bring back, and he pulls out the bracers. With these, you brought back for me are also going to be useful for that if that's something that you are looking for. But you are already wearing armor, and they don't really do good together. So if these are to anybody, you brought them back, and I marked them as gone.
Reverie kind of gestures to Bask, who is decidedly not wearing armor.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, let me take a little bit of a closer look.
Yeah. And he hands you both of them.
Anything particular stand out about the craftsmanship?
It's really nice. You didn't get a chance to look at it before, but this is pretty nice leather. And it has a really intricate design that goes all the way around, kind of like swirling interconnected patterns that are more on just all of the outskirts of them. They look good.
Yeah, you know what? Sure. Maybe if this will help me get hit less, maybe this will be just as effective. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I will probably be back to discuss some potential trading opportunities with the Haven at some point.
Well, Matt is always at your service, and am always interested in new business propositions. All right. Well, anything else I can do for you right now? And he's been writing all these things down, like literally on his hand. Like he's not even using a notepad. He's just, and it's not his hand. You've noticed it's not his hand that's moving around. It's his hair that is actively taking notes, like on his hand right now. His hands are busy holding stuff for you, but his hair is busy writing stuff. And he's giving it like no second thought. He's full in on this conversation. All right, well, yeah, whatever else you need, I'll be here. If you're thinking of anything before you leave, let me know. Morris, wonderful seeing you. Well, yeah, it's wonderful seeing you as well, Max. Besides that, I think I'll peruse. A lot of you done, or you want to stick around here for a little bit? Now, actually, it's getting a little dark. I'm gonna go probably secure a room. They got ones of all various sizes, unless you want to bunk together. It's up to you. I'm gonna get one of the big ones for myself personally, but that's my next objective. So it's getting a little dark, and I'm not trying to walk back tonight.
I think Jinx will will stick around here for a little while longer.
All right, as Morris takes their leave. All right, well, besides that, do you just want to look around, or do you have any questions, or welcome in also, by the way. Hey.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna look around and kind of hang out, and maybe I can watch what you do with the staff.
Oh yeah, let's
see how you do it.
Let's do that right now then. And he takes out the wand, and he takes yours, and you can hang out the whole time.
Yeah, I think she's just gonna like kind of hang out there until whatever time Matt is like, so you gonna go?
And honestly, he does not ask you that.
Oh, awesome.
And he works for the next few hours. Unless anybody else has something to ask him specifically, he's going to be working on this thing for a little bit.
No question for him. But at the end of 30 minutes, Dram is just finished singing a poor rendition of Just the Two of Us, because after the first 25 minutes it was very uncomfortable to just talk to the hilt, and then Revery's idea just tore away at him a little bit in the back of his head. So at the end of 30 minutes he finishes singing Just Two of Us and just has no idea what else to do. So goes, "Do you work now?"
And as you ask that question again, you feel the blade get warm in your hand as the age and wear and tear of it seems to have gone away, as now you have a really nice hilt in your hand of a longsword. And grasping it, holding it, you, as this blade of energy, this blade of fire and light emerges from the hilt. And it's a little bright, honestly. And it feels kind of good in a way, too. It feels like this sword is, while it has a different meaning, right, for you in particular, it feels like it is also comfortable in a way, as it has attuned to you and you have attuned to it, and you officially now have a sunblade, which, by the way,
high ground.
yeah. So the sunblade itself, as a bonus action, you can activate the blade, and that does give you a +2 to attack and damage rolls with the weapon. It deals radiant damage instead of slashing damage, and when you hit an undead, it deals an extra 1d8 radiant. It also emits a bright light of 15 feet, and dim light for an additional 15 feet. So
I've used this on swashbucklers before because your sneak attack damage matches your base weapon damage, so
that's true.
that would all be radiant.
Wait, this is gonna be so. Wait, this is gonna be so strange. If I do base radiant, and if I use Whispers of the Grave, I do necrotic damage.
Good combo.
Yeah, I'm
You,
excited.
you have a Sunblade. And Jinx, as you sit there and you watch for the next several hours, is anybody else hanging out also?
Yeah,
Going
Reverie
to the
is
tattoo parlor.
Reverie is looking for something much more mundane, just some sketching supplies.
Okay. You can definitely find those. Yeah, there's paper here. There's art supplies here. There's absolutely sketching supplies. If you want color, if you want graphite, if you want, there's so many options here. You can absolutely find anything you're looking for in that category.
Bask will be going with Ruli to the tattoo parlor.
Okay.
You know, Dram will tag along just because he does not want to stick around with Jinx.
Even though Reverie is madly jealous seeing the blade after hearing the poorly sung rendition of just the two of us, he does kind of call over to Dram. I told you it'd work.
I still can't believe it.
And when he turns away, he has this smug little grin on his face. Like, I can't believe I gotta do it.
Yeah, so Jinx, you hang out with Mad for the next couple of hours as he works on crafting this amalgamation of your wand and your focus. And it goes well into the night as maybe about 3, 4, whatever, early morning, he finally finishes as he presents to you your new focus. And that is a +1 focus, by the way. And it does have all of your attachments to it. It also is a Korrig wand at the same time. And that will add some. Let's see, what did I think of? Yeah, so that actually makes it the at the same time the uncommon warcasting thing that you were looking for. So
Awesome.
it is both of those things at the same time now that they've been shunted together.
Sweet.
As the rest of you head over to go to the tattoo parlor with Kyle, you show up and he's in there. It's getting a little late, and there's somebody in the chair already who is actively getting a tattoo at the moment. As he looks up at you, and the person in the chair looks up, who now you can see is another satyr that looks like he has a shaved part of his arm that is actively being tattooed right now. As this blonde-haired human male looks over at you and says, "Oh, hey, what's up, guys?
Hi there.
Welcome in. You looking for a tat?"
Yes. Do you do magic ones?
Yeah, definitely. Do you have gems? And sometimes the magic, it depends what you're looking for. What kind of, sorry, do you mind just a second? And the satyr's like, no, do what you gotta do. Like, I'm chilling. Okay, great. Yeah, what kind of magic are you looking for? Actually, we got a couple of things that we could do. Some of those require special materials and some of those don't. What do you think?
Well, I am a spellcaster, and I'm not very strong, so I'm usually very worried about getting hit in battles. I'm looking for something that could help protect me.
All right, okay. So I mean, we could do like a barrier, a tattoo that like when something hits you, like helps you out a little bit. Or we could do something that if you have a damage type in mind that you like, I don't like fire, real good. We could do something like that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options. So it really is, we could do anything. And now if you're doing the physical type of damage, or fire or lightning or whatever that is, that does have the chemical component or the gem component that we would need to be looking at. But if you're just simply looking for a barrier, something like that, we can maybe mess around. Maybe Matt has something across the way. We could figure something out.
Mm.
Now, today, I will say I'm a little booked, but tomorrow in the morning, I'm pretty free. If you'd rather come back then, I actually have an appointment in the afternoon, but my morning is open. If you want to, I see that there's a few of you for doing small things. I could fit all three of you in if you want to do bigger thing. I got afternoon past appointments in the evening also if you want to come back. But there, yeah, tomorrow works a little bit for me. Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure. That works for me, but I have to go ahead and warn you that I am not really a blank canvas. And Bask will show the the kind of slightly moving claws on the back of his hands. Goes, look, so I really like this. I think it's great. It's a whole aesthetic, a whole vibe. I was just looking for like something to pair with it. I don't really like. This is what I got when I said give me something fucking cool. And I got this, so to you, I am saying, give me something fucking cool, and I'm here for it.
All right. I like this.
I'm a canvas. Let me know what I will need to bring. Tell me what kind of snacks I need to have and how long we're going to be in the chair. And yeah, we'll do it. It's I'm here for it. Bring on the pain.
Okay. And he gives you a once over. All right. We'll do you last probably, but okay. I need to think on this one. But I think
Great.
show up
And
tomorrow.
Bask will leave completely satisfied with this encounter.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you? And he gestures to you, Dram.
Sure. Sorry, what?
Are you looking for a tattoo, or are you just with them? What do you think? What do you? Am I scheduling for 3 or for 2?
Oh, 2.
Okay. All right. No worries. No worries. If you change your mind, let me know tomorrow. But I'm gonna get back to him. Yeah.
If I was thinking about doing the one that absorbs, if I wanted to do something like maybe fire, what kind of components would we need?
Oh, you would need a little bit of ruby dust for that one.
Okay. I could probably find that.
Yeah, I mean, the different gems do different things. There's diamonds that are also really important. I do have a few, depending on what we're looking at, but we can go to Matt as well, and he'll probably have something for us. So,
Yeah, well, I don't know if you've heard, but we're official envoys of King Oberon. We're here helping to figure out what's going on with the land and why the islands are in the air, while people were smashed together, why so many people have lost their homes, and we're the ones who are fixing it. We've faced dragons, we faced gnolls, we faced giants just in the last couple days, and many other enemies. So if people are talking about us, so wearing art from a specific artist, could be a really boon for business.
that's really cool. Hey, good job. I'll keep that in mind. And you can see the satyr in the chair is like enamored with this conversation. He's like, what the fuck? What?
Plus,
Yeah.
Oberon is paying for our supplies, so you could, upcharge him if you wanted to. If you want to just bill him for the whole service.
Okay, that's good to know. Cool. All right, we'll talk more on this tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'll brainstorm some ideas for you. Oh, he's gone. Actually, well, for your friend. Don't worry. We'll figure something out.
Just make it creepy. I'm sure he'll like it.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, come back tomorrow, and we'll figure it all out then.
Absolutely. We'll see you first thing in the morning.
All right, sounds good to me. And he goes back and he starts finishing up his tattoo on the satyr. As a lot of you, what are you up to next? It's getting pretty dark, as you probably are about time to grab a room, I think. And as you enter the one place that Morris told you there was lodging, which is the watering hole, you can see that it's being maintained by a massive individual who stands with a very wide head, a very wide mouth, kind of hippopotamus-y shape. There is standing right in front of you a 8-foot tall GIF. As they're, yeah, it's right there. As you walk in, immediately he's like, "Hey, well, welcome in. How's the water hole? Rooms, drinks. All right. Hey, I'm Pito." And you look around. There's a bunch of people. There's goblins playing games. There's people out here, all over the park. This place right here.
Definitely rooms. Do you have any rooms with like a bathtub in it or a large container?
We do indeed, actually. Rooms for each of you. Let's just 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's call it a gold piece, and we can call it a day.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Besides that, hey, if you need anything else, hey, stay a while. We'll figure this out. And I think right there is a good place that we're gonna pick that up next time. And we'll figure out what's happening in the water hole and with the watering hole, and see what else this place has to offer for us.
Awesome. That was a lot of fun. We're gonna go. Sorry, I just saw that in chat, but after like 38 cups of coffee, that's amazing. We're gonna go on a raid here in just a minute, but before we do, I want to give everybody a chance to say what their favorite part was, where we can find them next, anything they'd like to share or plug. And we'll go reverse order from how we started. So we'll start with Andy.
Yeah. Wow. I think my favorite part was probably Baskin trying out the eyes for the first time. That was really good. And I am excited to see what else you would do with your peepers. But the rest of the stuff, very, very good session today. Awesome stuff. Where you can find me next is probably right here on next Tuesday, looking at TTRPGs. Hi, dog. On Wednesdays, tomorrow, I'll be doing some stream. Yeah, last week we played Gibbon Into the Woods. That's not what it's called. We played the Gibbon game that came out fairly recently, and we're probably going to finish that up tomorrow. We got the first whole thing done, the first whole plot, but now we get to go rescue some animals from captivity, and that's going to be pretty fun. Besides that, there was the Mounds in the Yard game that is still been postponed. We actually had to reschedule some things, but that is still in the works, so you'll be seeing that later as well from Queen's Court Gaming, and a couple of other things that we got working out. But definitely back here next Tuesday from me.
Awesome. Next, we've got Anna. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Yeah. Favorite part is probably that we got a sun sword and then the Darkling took it, when the sun is the absolute worst thing that a Darkling can be exposed to. As we found out in the session 0 that did not air, where hundreds of Darklings died in the sunlight. It was rough. But yeah, so the fact that the sun sword went to the Darkling is hilarious in its irony. But yeah, I am Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny most places on the internet. I'm a queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer and podcaster. If any of that sounds interesting, you find me on Twitter at Archival Dustbun. I have a very busy summer, 11 plus games going into the next couple months. Sundays, you can find me on Weave the Tale at 3 p.m. Eastern, playing Neon Revolution, our Thirsty Sword Lesbians game that starts this Sunday. I am playing the sole daughter and heir to a crime syndicate, so that should be a lot of fun. It is an all-queer cast, so come check that out. Monday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, you can find me on Party White Games playing Greetings from a Public City, our Avatar Legends actual play, where I will be playing a Northern Waterbender who is involved in the Water Tribe Civil War, has feelings about that, and has since left for Republic City. Our premiere of that is this next Monday, so it's another show you can jump on from the beginning. Tuesday nights, of course, you can find me here. Every third Thursday, you can find me over on Ballad of the Seven Dice, playing The Timeless Journey, our Ryutama actual play. We have an episode out. Go and check that out. It was 2 hours of absolute hilarity. My mouth hurt from laughing once we were finished with it. So if you want a really chill, Ghibli-esque, laid-back adventure, go check that out on Ballad. The first Sundays of every month, you can find me on Thorny Dryad playing our Masks game, U-Force Inheritance. A bunch of other games as well that have not been announced yet that will be starting this month and next. And then, of course, if sci-fi or podcast are more your thing, you can find me Response Team Omnicron, a Lancer actual play podcast, following a PR team who unexpectedly ends up on the front lines of a brewing conflict. If you love giant mecha battle, sci-fi feels, roleplay focused characters, narrative first combat, we've been told that our approach to combat is very evocative and unique. So we just hit 2K. We're actually up over 2,100 downloads now. So come see what all the fuss is about. We've been having a lot of fun. You can find us anywhere you normally get your podcast and on Twitter at RT Omnicron. Yeah, see where and when I'm streaming and to see all the announcements of upcoming things, give me a follow on Twitter.
Awesome. Next, let's hop over to M. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
I'm gonna second Bask finally getting to use the peepers and also closing his eyes and covering his ears just in case of listening hags. Also, Dram's delightful rendition of just the two of us. That was wonderful. I love that. Also, Ruli at the tattoo artist, just give him something creepy, he'll love it. Also, just Morris in general. Anytime Morris is around, Morris is a delight. I love Morris. You can find me at Timberdoodles on Twitter. I'm a digital artist. I complain a lot. I will be back here on Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time for Welcome to Madison. We did a little Lost episode last Friday that didn't air. It was wild and terrifying and hilarious. But we're gonna pick up again. I play Dr. Donald Reed, a NASA JPL scientist who is stuck in this surreal / cosmic horror setting, and is way more into science and this magic nonsense. But we are trying to solve and prevent a future murder wherein two of our characters, including mine, is apparently going to murder one of the others. And currently, mine is terrified that a a demon child might try to turn his family into their Sitford family. So that's a thing. A lot of wild stuff happens. The character interaction is great. And somehow our amazing DM manages to reel us back in from laughing hysterically and doing dumb stuff back into escalating creepiness. It is a delight. So yeah, 7 p.m. Central Time here on Friday, and then I will be back here again next week playing Reverie on Tuesday.
Awesome. Next, got Par. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you like to share or plug?
I think I have two favorite parts. I like at the very beginning of the session, Baskin just oh boy, I hope nobody's out here to fight. I'd hate that. Really hate that. Anyone out there? All right. Last chance. And I love oh, it's slipping my mind now. I do love whatever Jinx is going to do with her staff. Whatever wild thing will come out of all of that scrambled together. There was a Ruli moment that I liked, but I can't remember it right now, unfortunately. But you can find me next week at the same time for this game. Which I greatly enjoy. You can find me on Twitter at Par Professional and at Mr. Par 4E. You can find me on Twitch sometimes at just Mr. Bar. That's me. Wrapped.
Awesome. Next, Zan, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Yeah. So favorite part, man. There were just so many really cool. There was just so much cool stuff. Just all the time. Like the weird little interaction with the air elementals and how that just the discourse around that scene and how and then it was just anticlimactically solved. It was there's something really deflating about it in a very wonderful way. And I mean, it's just it's deflating. Yeah. Mhm.
Yep. I caught that.
Oh yeah.
You just let the air out of the situation for you.
Yeah.
Yep. I loved Par having or Dram having his little moment with the sword and the delicious irony. There's just a lot of good stuff going on. I gotta say though, I think the moment that stands out the most is with Jinx and Matt's like sudden friendship. Like it's always nice to see where wonderful in-character storylines are going to happen, and I see one right there. And as for me, you can find me at Insanity TTRPG in most places. I am a game master for hire and therapeutic dungeon master, and you can find some of the stuff that I write. And I've actually, I know, wild. I've been saying I was doing this for the last several streams, but I've actually been posting some of the weird. Strange things that I've been creating on Twitter, so you should check those out. I'll have another one coming out later tonight that is pretty impractical but real cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, they're really cool. I loved the counter barbarian one. That was really neat.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, Jinx walked into that shop and was like, "This is utter chaos. You are my people." Which incidentally is my favorite part of the session, was that entire scene. Everybody's interaction with Mad and just the shop itself. Like that whole part of the session is my favorite part. And I also quite enjoyed the Busking using the eyes for the first time and then being like, oh no, this is totally normal. When Jinx is like, was that one of the things you learned? And also the fact that Jinx got to commit arson early on, that's always a good time. Anytime Jinx could be like, fire. Or you can find me next, health permitting. I will be back for Avatar Before the Ice Melted Friday at noon Mountain Time. And should be good either way for Welcome to Madison. I'll be producing that. So you won't actually see me, but I will be here pushing the buttons and everything, making the stream work. And then Saturday, we should be back for Animus Absentis, which will be a lot of fun to get back into that. That's at 6 p.m. Mountain Time as well. Other things to share or plug. I don't have anything ready yet, but there are things coming in the pipeline. I've got a big, long tweet that I sent out yesterday or the day before yesterday about some updates and changes that are coming with scheduling and things like that. One of those things is that I'm going to be sort of pivoting some of my time to focus on private games. Doing that as a paid games as a professional game master. So if that is something that anyone is interested in, those spots will be limited. So if you are interested, DM me on Twitter or Discord early, so that I can make sure you get a spot. And then other than that, I did want to once again mention the Children and Champions of the Fae supplement that a lot of us have been using for this campaign. Sprite, the Sprite ancestry that Jinx uses came from that supplement. It's really cool. You should go check it out. There's a link to it there in chat. And then our sponsors are Fundamental RPG It's a simple D20 system that's not tied to a genre. So you can use it to play any style of game that you'd like, from high fantasy to sci-fi and everything in between, even low fantasy. So if you wanted to run a game without magic, you could do that. It's very versatile. It looks like this, and you can pick up your copy. If you want the physical book, it's on Amazon. If you want the digital version, or if you just want to try out the quick play guide to sort of give it a trial run before picking it up, you can find both of those at coffee.com/Raven, like it's spelled at the bottom of the screen. And then our other sponsor is Die Hard Dice. Go check out their stuff at dieharddice.com. The company and the people there are amazing, and they sell incredible polymer and metal dice sets and accessories. If you use the code FUNRPG, all one word, all caps, until the end of the month, it's normally 10% off, but until the end of the month, you can get 15% off of your order. And then I highly recommend checking out the magnetic pop-up dice tower, which you can see behind me. Didn't get much of a chance to use it tonight, but as you can see, you just drop the dice on the top and it rolls really well. It fits perfectly into their magnetic dice trays. So that's really convenient. And both the dice trays and the dice tower are collapsible, so you can easily pack them up with your rule books or miniatures or whatever you have with you, and take them on the go. So it's pretty cool stuff. There's a link straight to that in chat. I think that is everything. So we're gonna go on a raid. We're gonna go raid Bright Dystopia. He's delightful. It's a lot of fun over there hanging out in those streams. So go give him a follow if you're not doing so already. And then I will see you all hopefully on Friday. Bye, everybody.